details emerging from Zimbabwe, according to the latest information that has been revealed by one of the Zimbabwean journalists. Remember, we take everything that one is saying at this moment, especially if it's a journalist who says, I've heard ABCD. We take these individuals serious. According to Hopewell Chinono, he is saying that the Parliament of Zimbabwe, definitely we know that Ziambi have asked for constitutional amendment number 3 debate to go on overnight. So some members of parliament resisting this. So we expect to see the Parliament of Zimbabwe debating this through overnight, and they are seeking to fast track this bill, and the bill should be passed by Parliament by that is or tomorrow, the day after tomorrow on Thursday, or by Friday. That is what the new revelation says, according to the expectations of the Mnangagwa faction. But a lot could happen in between this period. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So this is what Hopewell Chinono has reported on. It says the controversial constitutional amendment bill number 3 is expected to be passed by Parliament by tomorrow evening or Friday, according to several members of Parliament I have spoken to. The most contentious constitutional backlash since the adoption of the 2013 Constitution has taken a dramatic step forward after a joint parliamentary committee recommended the adoption of most provisions contained in Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. In the final report presented to Parliament today, the committee endorsed a series of far-reaching constitutional changes that would fundamentally reshape Zimbabwe's political and governance landscape. Among the most significant recommendations is the proposal to remove the direct election of the president by citizens and replace it with a system in which the president is elected by parliament. The committee argued that parliamentary election of the head of state would reduce the financial burden of national elections, minimize political tensions associated with presidential contests, and strengthen accountability between the executive and parliament. Critics have warned that such a move would represent one of the most significant reversals of democratic reforms since 1987, effectively removing the principle of one person, one vote in presidential elections. The report also recommends extending the terms of both president and members of parliament from 5 years to 7 years. In a striking observation, the committee stated that some members believed a 10-year term would be ideal for delivering long-term development projects, but ultimately settled on recommending a 7-year electoral cycle. They were talking of 10 years. Other major proposals endorsed by the committee included transferring responsibility for voter registration and management of the voters' roll from the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission to the Registrar General, creating a new Zimbabwe Delimitation Commission to take over constituency boundary drawing, increasing the size of the Senate by adding 10 presidential appointees, and changing the process for appointing judges by giving the president a greater role in judiciary appointments. The committee also backed the proposals to repeal the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission, arguing that the body had completed its mandate and that Zimbabwe currently enjoys peace and stability. These guys have hearts. However, not every proposed amendment received the committee's support The report recommends retaining the Zimbabwe Gender Commission. I have predicted this, that I had predicted this, especially to those who follow this channel. After concerns were raised that abolishing it could weaken the protection of women's rights and undermine Zimbabwe's international commitments on gender equality. The committee also rejected proposals that would allow traditional leaders to participate openly in politics. It concluded that such a change would conflict with constitutional provisions requiring traditional leaders to remain politically neutral and impartial in carrying out their duties. One of the most contentious aspects of the report is its claim that public consultations demonstrated overwhelming support for the bill. According to the figures contained in the report, Parliament receives 540,037 written submissions, of which 537, in fact, received 540,037 written submission, of which 537,102 supported the bill, while 2,935 opposed it. The report now places Parliament at the center of constitutional debate that is likely to dominate Zimbabwean politics for months to come. Supporters argue the amendments will improve governance, reduce cost, and promote political stability. Opponents insist the proposals concentrate power, weaken democratic accountability, and alter key constitutional safeguards that were established after years of political struggle. With the committee largely endorsing Constitutional Amendment Bill 3, attention now shifts to Parliament, where lawmakers will determine whether the proposed constitutional changes become law and reshape Zimbabwe's political future. In fact, it's actually a length. I'm forced to go and read this report. It was summarized by Hopewell Chinono. Let me see where exactly he extracted or he posted it. So the report is already circulating online. It has been tabled to the Parliament, and these are key issues that came through. They say some of the submissions to the Parliament, they wanted Mnangagwa to lead the country for 10 years, a term to be 10 years, but the committee ended up settling for 7 years. So Gender Commission, as predicted, especially those who follow this channel, I made this prediction that it was just put there so that Mnangagwa will say the bill was not actually approved in its entirety. There were recommendations for the changes to be made, and these are the changes that they would have made. Not that people recommended this. All this process is anti-people, as we know it. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars.